Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is my honor to welcome you to the Commandant of the Marine Corps' birthday ball, celebrating the 250th birthday of our Corps. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise and join me in welcoming to the ballroom the Commandant of the Marine Corps, General Eric M. Smith, accompanied by his wife, Trish, and tonight's guest of honor, the Vice President of the United States, the Honorable JD Vance, accompanied by his wife, Usha Vance. Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing for the invocation, which will be delivered by the Chaplain of the Marine Corps, Rear Admiral Carrie H. Cash, Chaplain Corps, United States Navy.
I invite you to pray with me. Almighty God, in whom 1,000 years is but a day, help us see these 2.5 centuries as a Marine Corps in light of your eternal purpose. O Lord, you desire that all men be free, that all humanity choose the path of peace, and that all nations bend with the arc of justice. But in a fallen world, these things cannot be. O God, where your ways are rejected, where innocence is threatened, and where evil lies in wait for the upright in heart, you call Marines to give an answer. Their code is honor, their strength is their faith, their purpose is swift, to bring justice to any who would threaten freedom and a cherished way of life. As we renew our pledge to the Eagle, Globe, and Anchor, help us remind the world again that there is no greater friend and no worse enemy than a U.S. Marine. Bless us, O God, that all Marines in every clime and place might kindle afresh that love for country, faith in your goodness, and virtue in their conduct that sets us apart. Forbid any spirit that would sully our character or cause us to sell our birthright. May we be proud of our service, humble when praised, and quick to the fight, trusting not in our own strength, but in your mighty Spirit, who trains our hands for battle and grants us the courage to be more than conquerors through you who love us. In your name we pray. Amen.
If you would direct your attention to the right of the stage, you will find an illuminated table that has been prepared in honor of our fallen comrades. It symbolizes the valiant sacrifices of our Marine Corps Navy team. Tonight, we pay special tribute to the members of our Marine Corps family who have been taken from us. Their sacrifices and the sacrifices of their families help preserve our nation's freedom and enable millions of our citizens to enjoy the American dream. We stand free today because of them. Ladies and gentlemen, please join in a moment of silence as we pause to honor those brave men and women who have given their lives in the service of our country. Thank you. Please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, a message from the Commandant and Sergeant Major of the Marine Corps.
Since the birth of the Corps, we have answered the call. Through every battle, every climb, in every place. No matter the odds, no matter the obstacle. We adapt, we overcome, and close with and destroy the enemy. We know the future will not be the same, but the one thing we know will always remain is the Marine. For 250 years, we have formed ranks and held the line. And we will for the next 250.
Marine Corps is a far-flung organization. Detachments of Marines are serving in every Navy yard, naval station, and guarding every naval activity everywhere in the world. I've visited a great many of those places. Everywhere I heard expressions of goodwill towards the Marines. Everywhere I observed the friendly relations existing between the people and the Marines.
For 2.5 centuries, we have shouldered the responsibility of freedom on behalf of our nation. Every battle fought, and every sacrifice made has been etched into our legacy.
We're Marines. We always find a way to work things out. No matter what happens anywhere, we can make something happen that'll turn the tide of battle.
We are that adaptable to whatever the situation is. We trust our corporals with more responsibility, our lieutenants with more responsibility, our lieutenant colonels with more responsibility than any other branch of service, because we do more with less. There's no other branch that can do that.
It's by far the greatest institution still in my mind on the face of the planet, because not everybody can be a Marine. You have to earn the Eagle, Globe, and Anchor. And I think that's what attracts the type of people that the Marine Corps has.
Every Marine who has earned the Eagle, Globe, and Anchor bears a responsibility that stands the test of time to the Marines, past, present, and future.
We don't join the Marine Corps. We are the Marine Corps. Core of our being is that we're convinced we're the best fighting force in the world, and the truth is, we are.
I believe the immediate bond between Marines is so strong just because of the way we're trained. We have a very specific niche culture of, greatness, our heritage, our warrior ethos. I think all those things, separate us, and we find them in each other.
You may have a reason why you join, but there's a reason why you stay. You stay because of everything you're learning about how to be a warrior, how to maintain those warrior ethics, so that when that bomb goes off, you're ready to do your part.
As Marines, our warrior mindset is something that can never be defeated. For 250 years, the Marine Corps has been successful because that's the only option. Success is all we know.
The character of war has and will continue to change. We have adapted, evolved, and innovated, but our warrior spirit remains consistent.
The nature of war is taking something that somebody else has that you want, and it's never changed, probably never will change. The character of war, however, has changed a lot. World War II, we used ships, planes, bombs. All the way to today, we use, as you can tell by the news, we use ships, planes, bombs. We just have a lot better technology.
I don't know that one battlefield's ever been the same for any generation. The types of war, the ways of war, all that is constantly going to be changing. What's going to decide our next and our future wars is not going to be the technology, it's not going to be money, it's going to be the level of the belief of our people, of what they believe in, and the standards that they hold themselves to.
We are more lethal, more capable, and more ready than ever, while grounded in the traditions that made us who we are. We will not win the next fight on platforms alone. It is the Marine who will break the will of the enemy.
As Marines, I believe the most powerful aspect of our training and such an important part of who we are, holding on to that history that came before us. The Marine Corps is lethal because of our willingness and our eagerness to take the fight to the enemy in any climb or place and win those battles, sometimes at any cost.
Our history is not only a story of battles won, it is a story of people, of commitment, of family. An unbreakable bond that transcends ranks and lasts a lifetime.
I think the only way to honor them is to live a life that's worthy of their sacrifices. And the only way that you can do that is by going out and being the best that you can be, by going out and by still upholding those standards as a Marine, by celebrating them, by telling their stories and giving the next generation some legacy to live up to.
Cream rises to the top. And that's what we have in the Marine Corps today. The Marine Corps is the operational Marine Corps. But there's another aspect of the Marine Corps. It's the former Marines or former active duty who are out there in all walks of life. It's amazing when you think of it.
Being in service was a privilege. It was the best time of our lives. But it was a sacrifice. And your family is part of that sacrifice. And Marine wives or Marine spouses, they deserve a lot of credit as well. The kids being uprooted, moving, it's a sacrifice to serve our country.
Without the support of their loved ones and their immediate family, it's hard for them to complete their job. So again, it's so important for military families and Marine Corps families to understand that their role and the role that they play in supporting their loved one while serving is just as important.
For 250 years, we have proven there is no better friend and no worse enemy than a U.S. Marine.
For those people who wish evil upon the greater good, David Bellavia said it best, somebody else will raise your children.
To the enemies of our nation, don't get comfortable. Whether you're in the air, at sea, or on the ground. We adapt. We always have, and we always will.
If it comes down to one-on-one, mano-a-mano, and you turn us loose, I can promise you this, you're not going to survive.
From our first amphibious landing at Nassau, to the black sands of Iwo Jima, to urban combat in Fallujah, our Corps has come a long way since Samuel Nichols first took command of 2 battalions at Tun Tavern. Though weapons, platforms, and technology continue to evolve, our individual Marines' grit, discipline, resolve remain our decisive advantage.
For 2.5 centuries, Marines have preserved our legacy as America's premier expeditionary force, because we are forward, ready, and lethal. When the moment a Marine earns their Eagle Globe and Anchor, they inherit a rich tradition of honor, courage, and commitment, a legacy that is etched on our souls forever. Our history is one of winning our nation's battle, and make no mistake, we will be called to fight again. We will be ready, and we will win.
Since our foundation, we have fought in every climb and place, upholding our oath and preserving who we are, the few and the proud. But we cannot break stride. We must continue to train for the next fight, because victory will go to those who seize the initiative, impose their will, and never yield. The pursuit of excellence in the profession of arms is our heritage, forged by an unbreakable fighting spirit. The memorial behind us stands as a testament to that fact. We stand on the shoulders of the giants that came before us. We must not fail them. The challenge is on all of us every day to uphold the standard that the title Marine demands.
Happy 250th birthday, Marines. Semper Fidelis.
We begin our ceremony with a performance by the United States Marine Drum and Bugle Corps. Formed in 1934 and known as the Commandant's Own, the unit celebrates more than 90 years of marching and musical excellence while carrying the distinction of being the only drum and bugle corps currently serving in the United States Armed Forces. The concert will open with the timeless classic made famous by the Andrews Sisters as they entertained countless American troops during World War II, Boogie Woogie Bugle Boy. Under the direction of Captain Courtney Lawrence, Marine Barracks, Washington, D.C. is proud to present the Commandant's Own United States Marine Drum and Bugle Corps. We'll close with a musical tribute to this great nation, America the Beautiful. Ladies and gentlemen, honored and distinguished guests, friends and fellow Marines, welcome and happy birthday. This evening we have gathered to celebrate the founding of our Marine Corps and to pay tribute to the few good men and women, as well as the silent regiments of yesteryear, who shaped our Corps' proud history. We hope our guests will sense the tremendous pride we Marines feel tonight as we collectively reminisce on 250 years of heritage and proudly look to the future of our Marine Corps. Ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to the back of the ballroom. For 250 years, United States Marines have set standards and exceeded expectations. Excellence and precision are at the core of our profession and daily life. The Marines staged across the back of the ballroom represent this legacy. The uniform and weapons have changed, but the ethos has stayed the same, battle-proven for 2.5 centuries. We stand on the shoulders of the giants who once wore these uniforms, and Marines will remain always faithful for the next 250 years and beyond. Ladies and gentlemen, our host for this evening's celebration is the Commandant of the Marine Corps, General Eric M. Smith. Tonight's guest of honor is the Vice President of the United States, the Honorable JD Vance. Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing for honors to Vice President JD Vance. Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing for the presentation of the colors. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a pleasure to introduce the baritone vocalist of the President's own United States Marine Band, Master Gunnery Sergeant Kevin Benier, who will sing our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing for the presentation of the Marine Corps birthday cake. Please be seated. On November 1st, 1921, John A. Lejeune, 13th Commandant of the Marine Corps, directed that a reminder of the honorable service of the Corps be published by every command to all Marines throughout the globe on the birthday of the Corps. Since that day, the men and women of our Corps have continued to distinguish themselves on many battlefields and foreign shores, in war and peace. On this birthday of the Corps, therefore, in recognition of the will of the 13th Commandant, a reminder of the Corps' honorable service is published as follows.
On November 10th, 1775, a Corps of Marines was created by a resolution of the Continental Congress. Since that date, many thousand men have borne the name Marine. In memory of them, it is fitting that we who are Marines should commemorate the birthday of our Corps by calling to mind the glories of its long and illustrious history. The record of our Corps is one which will bear comparison with that of the most famous military organizations in the world's history. During 90 of the 146 years of its existence, the Marine Corps has been in action against the nation's foes. From the Battle of Trenton to the Argonne, Marines have won foremost honors in war and in the long eras of tranquility at home. Generation after generation of Marines have grown gray in war in both hemispheres and in every corner of the 7 seas, so that our country and its citizens might enjoy peace and security. In every battle and skirmish since the birth of our Corps, Marines have acquitted themselves with the greatest distinction, winning new honors on each occasion until the term Marine has come to signify all that is highest in military efficiency and soldierly virtue. This high name of distinction and soldierly repute, we who are Marines today have received from those who preceded us in the Corps. With it, we have also received from them the eternal spirit, which has animated our Corps from generation to generation and has been the distinguishing mark of the Marines in every age. So long as that spirit continues to flourish, Marines will be found equal to every emergency in the future as they have been in the past, and the men of our nation will regard us as worthy successors to the long line of illustrious men who served as soldiers of the sea since the founding of the Corps.
The timeless message of our 13th Commandant has left its mark in the hearts and minds of all Marines, past and present. By deed and act, from Belleau Wood to the Argonne, from Guadalcanal to Iwo Jima, from Incheon to the Korean Armistice, from the hard fights in Vietnam to Desert Shield and Desert Storm, to this century's longest wars in Iraq and Afghanistan, and in hundreds of other places where Marines have distinguished themselves, Marines have continued to epitomize those qualities which are their legacy. The success which the men and women who have earned the title Marine have achieved in combat and the faith they have borne in peace will endure forever. The Commandant and our many friends have added their hearty praise and congratulations on this, our 250th birthday. One tradition of the Marine birthday is the cake-cutting ceremony. This ceremony is important to all Marines as it is an annual renewal of each Marine's commitment to the Corps and the Corps' commitment to our nation's quest for peace and freedom worldwide. The birthday cake is traditionally cut with the Mameluke sword as a reminder that we are a band of warriors committed to carrying the sword so that our nation may live in peace. Ladies and gentlemen, the cake before you was designed and handcrafted by Mrs. Gray Pack and Marines from the Marine Corps Enlisted Aid Program. Please join me in a round of applause. As is our custom, a piece of cake has been presented to our guest of honor, Vice President JD Vance. Vice President JD Vance will now present the piece of cake to the oldest Marine in attendance as a sign of honor and respect accorded to experience and seniority. Our oldest Marine this evening was born on 26 April 1926 in Brooklyn, New York, and enlisted in the Marine Corps in 1944. He attended basic training aboard Marine Corps Recruit Depot Paris Island and was trained as an Intel Marine. In 1944, he was assigned to 4th Tank Battalion, 4th Marine Division, and fought on Iwo Jima from D-Day +1 on 20 February 1945 to 26 March 1945. He was honorably discharged on 7 June 1946 with the Asiatic Pacific Campaign Medal with 1 battle star and World War II Victory Medal. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Corporal Nils Moakler, United States Marine Corps. For 250 years, our experienced Marines have nurtured and led young Marines to fill our ranks and renew our Corps. Corporal Moakler has passed the piece of cake to the youngest Marine in attendance, symbolizing the passing of wisdom, knowledge, and experience, as well as signifying trust and confidence in those who will carry on our Marine Corps traditions in the future. This evening, our youngest Marine is Lance Corporal Isaiah M. Feisa, who enlisted in the Marine Corps on 25 February 2025 out of Nashville, Tennessee, and attended recruit training aboard Marine Corps Recruit Depot, Paris Island. After attending combat training at Camp Geiger, North Carolina, he reported to Headquarters and Service Battalion, Headquarters Marine Corps, Henderson Hall, where he currently serves as an administrative specialist with the Regional Personnel Administration Center. He was born on 26 September 2006. Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing for the retirement of the colors. Please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we ask that you please charge your champagne glasses. Ladies and gentlemen, the Commandant of the Marine Corps, General Eric M. Smith.
We got to do that again. Good evening, Marines. That's more like it. That's more like it. I have one job tonight. That's to introduce our guest of honor. But first, I get to say a couple of words to us, Marines, U.S. Marines, us Marines. I've got a prepared script, and I'm going to deviate from it, which is going to make my staff very uncomfortable.
but I'm gonna wing it here in front of the Vice President. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna tell one story. And it's a story that I've told before, but not too many times, because frankly, it's kind of hard to get through. But it boils down the essence of being a Marine. I was the battalion commander for 1st Battalion, 5th Marines in 2005 in the city called Ramadi. And, you know, 1-5 was in the heart of the Sunni insurgency. And we were taking daily casualties, and it was a day-on, stay-on gunfight. And I had 2 twin brothers in my battalion, the Jaime brothers, Jesse and Joel. And they were both assigned to Alpha Company. And one night I was at the government center in the center of Ramadi, and I heard a very large explosion. And one of our Humvees had been hit by an IED, and a couple Marines had been killed. Actually, all 5 Marines in the vehicle were killed. One of them was Corporal Jaime, Joel Jaime, or Jesse Jaime. And so I told his brother, after we got the bodies off the battlefield, I went down to the government center and picked up his brother, Joel, and I brought him back to Camp Ramadi. And I was kind of choking up. You know, I was a young battalion commander. Again, we were taking daily casualties. And as the body was taken on to the helicopter that was going to fly him back to Camp Fallujah, to the mortuary, and then fly them on back to Las Vegas, I took his brother out there in my Humvee, and I said, Corporal Jaime, I don't know what to say to you right now. And he looked me dead in the eye, and he said, sir, it's been my privilege to serve in this battalion. And he boarded a helicopter, and he flew his dead brother's body home to Las Vegas. Now, I don't know where we get the likes of Corporal Jaime. I don't think we deserve them. But the truth is, for our adversaries, we got lots of them. We got lots of them. And they're all willing to kill you. They're all willing to bring the fight to you. So if you mess with America, you're going to get a bunch of Corporal Jaimes coming after you. And again, I've committed the ultimate foul because I haven't said all of our VIPs tonight, but everyone here is a VIP. And so we have U.S. senators here tonight. We have distinguished visitors, distinguished guests. We've got too many to name. We've got the former ACMAC, now the Vice Chairman of the Joint Chiefs, Christopher Mo Mahoney. We have senators from the states of Montana. We got Senator Ernst from the great state of Indiana. We've got the Honorable Stephen Daines. We've got the Honorable Dan Sullivan, U.S. Senator from the great state of Alaska and a veteran Marine himself. Again, the list goes on. We've got Ambassador Sean O'Neill, Ambassador Designate to Thailand. The Honorable Hung Cao, Undersecretary of the Navy. General Dave Berger, former Commandant of the Marine Corps. And I'll end with this one. We got Sergeant Dakota Meyer, Medal of Honor recipient. We're all honored by your presence here today. So again, I'm going to skip my prepared remarks because I think when I tell the Corporal Jaime story, that epitomizes everything you need to know about our Marine Corps. And it epitomizes everything that is good about our Marine Corps. And it epitomizes everything that our adversaries need to understand about our Marine Corps. Because if you mess with the bull, you get the horns. And there's a saying, again, that nobody likes to fight, but somebody has to know how. But Marines do know how, and they do like to fight. They do like to fight. So Marines, on this, your 250th birthday, I wish you a happy birthday. I wish you 250 more. And I hope that we don't have to deal with any more Corporal Jaimes, but I'm afraid that we're going to. And I'm going to depend upon all of you, the leaders of this Corps, to have the mental, moral, and physical courage to do what is required when the time comes. When the time comes to stick a bayonet in our adversary's chest, I'm going to depend upon you to do it. And I know you will. And I know you can. Because we've been doing it for 250 years, and we're going to keep doing it for another X thousand years, because there's no end in sight to this Marine Corps. It is the biggest, baddest, most war-fighting organization on the face of the planet. It is all about lethality. It's all about war fighting. That's all we do. That's who we are. That's what we do. We war fight. We're Marines. That's all we do. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to get off the stage, and I am going to simply introduce our guest of honor tonight, the Vice President of the United States, the Honorable JD Vance, a veteran Marine. Hoorah.
Thank you, Marines. It's great to be with you tonight. I want to thank our great Commandant, General Smith. Thank you so much for everything that you do for our Marine Corps. Let me ask you all, how we doing, Marines? That was pretty good. How we doing, Marines? That was better. That was better. Well, I figured I'd just stand up here and tell a lot of stories about the Marine Corps, because what else should we do when we're among friends on the 250th birthday of the United States Marine Corps than talk about the incredible stories that make our Corps great? And I'm so proud to be here. I'm so proud to be the first Vice President of the United States to have been a United States Marine. I'm proud to have so many of my dear friends from my own time in the United States Marine Corps, and I was joking with some of them earlier this evening. We were at a reception with generals and colonels and magistrates and noblemen, and I thought to myself that when we were at our last Marine Corps ball, we were drinking Jim Beam 8 stars with a bunch of corporals and lance corporals and sergeants, and now we're drinking fine wine with the Commandant of the Marine Corps. We've come pretty far, my friends. It's good to see you all. But the thing I love about the Marine Corps is that for 41 years, for the entire time that I have had the Marine Corps in the back of my mind, since I stepped foot on those yellow footprints in Parris Island, I was a 19-year-old kid. That entire time, the Marine Corps has kept me honest, and even tonight, the Marine Corps has kept me honest, because you saw our guest of honor, that incredible Iwo Jima veteran, Corporal. It's such an honor to be with you. And I was shaking his hand earlier and spending some time with him, and I said, "Sir, if you need to lean on me, if you need to grab onto me, please feel free to do so." And he said, "If you need to grab onto me, feel free to do so." And then I shook the hand of his fellow Iwo Jima veteran, because we have a corpsman here who served in Iwo Jima. And how much, Marines, do we love our corpsmen who keep us safe? We know that to our corpsmen there is no illness so severe, no malady so significant that it cannot be cleared by 2 Motrin and a fresh pair of socks. But I shook the hand of this corpsman who's probably close to 100 years old. And he said, you know, we talked for a little bit, we chatted for a little bit. He said, you know, you have a very nice personality. And I'm a vain politician just like all the rest of them, and I really appreciated that. And then he said, what the hell is up with that beard? And I thought to myself, I'm the Vice President of the United States, and this guy is busting my balls for having a beard. But that, my friends, is what the Marine Corps does, whether we're a young Marine or an old Marine, whether we're a Lance Corporal born in 2006 or a veteran of Iwo Jima. The Marine Corps keeps us honest because it is the proudest organization of warfighters in the world, and we are proud to celebrate its 250th birthday. Now, I got this great big speech here. I could talk about Dan Daly. I could talk about Chesty Puller. I could talk about John Basilone. I could talk about all of the incredible Marines. I could talk about my friends, some of whom came home from Iraq or Afghanistan and a couple of whom didn't. We know that the reason why this organization is so special is fundamentally because we take the very best young Americans, we turn them into something even better, which is United States Marines, and we go and ask them, even when they're teenagers, even when they're not even old enough, some of them, to drink, we go and ask them to do the hardest thing in the world, which is to fight our nation's battles and to represent the United States all over the world in the proudest and most profound way possible. And I'm proud to tell you this evening that tonight, as we celebrate at the Commandant's Birthday Ball, from the young Marines to the old Marines, I, as your Vice President, am proud of you, and we're going to keep on winning America's wars for the next 250 years after this. Now, I remember when my cousin Rachel, she's my older cousin, my grandmother's eldest grandchild, when she encouraged me to enlist in the United States Marine Corps, and at the time it sounded like the craziest idea I had ever heard. I couldn't run a mile, much less 3 miles, and I never thought to myself that I could join the military, but I'm telling you that the confidence the Marine Corps gave me, the trajectory that it set me on, has started, again, from those yellow footprints in Parris Island, led me directly from where I was then to where I stand today. And it wasn't always an easy journey, of course, these things never are, but I remember, for example, my very first Marine Corps birthday as a young recruit in Parris Island. I went to boot camp in September of 2003, and so, of course, my first Marine Corps birthday was in Parris Island. Now, I'll tell you a little story. At the time, I thought that I was deathly allergic to shellfish. And the reason I thought I was deathly allergic to shellfish is because when I was 16 or 17, I had some terrible allergic reaction. I assumed it was because of shellfish, and for 2 years, I had not touched shellfish. I thought it was the thing that was going to kill me. And so on November the 10th in Parris Island, South Carolina, I was sitting there, and they served steak and lobster. And you all know, y'all were recruits. You know how hungry young recruits get? And I thought to myself, well, on the one hand, I could be hungry and maybe save my life. On the other hand, I could roll the die with this lobster, and the very worst thing that's probably going to happen to me is a corpsman's going to take care of me. I'll get to sleep in tomorrow. And so what did my dumb ass do? I ate the lobster, and I was fine, and I haven't been allergic to shellfish ever since. So one of the great things the Marine Corps can do is it can apparently cure a shellfish allergy. There are so many things I'm proud of about this Corps. One of the things I'm proud of is that the attitude and the life of service continues from the people who become generals in our Marine Corps to sergeant majors in our Marine Corps to the people who get out and lead in the civilian world. My dear friend Dave Warrington is here, the White House counsel. I'm going to embarrass Dave a little bit because though he's one of the most important people in our White House team, a brilliant lawyer, a very proud Marine, I didn't know until tonight that young David, his son, is a captain of Marines, and he's here with us tonight. So let's give it up for a family of service. There he is. going to embarrass my friend a little bit. And of course, you all know that, you know, when you get around soldiers and sailors and airmen, we like to poke fun at each other. And I was talking to an Army colonel in the White House not too long ago, and I said, "Colonel, you know what they call a soldier with an IQ of 80? And he said, "What, sir?" And I said, "They call him a colonel." And he chuckled. And then he said, "You know what they call a Marine with an IQ of 60? I said, "What's that, Colonel?" He said, "The Vice President of the United States." And guess what, Colonel? I've got the last laugh because your ass is going to Siberia on diplomatic duty. So I hope you had your fun in the West Wing, but unfortunately I get the final say. That's one of the good things about this job. But let me just say, first of all, from our Department of War Secretary, Pete Hegseth, a great soldier, but a person I know who loves the Marines deeply, and of course from the President of the United States. They are proud of you. They know that the United States Marine Corps is the greatest weapon the political leadership of this country has. And when you hear this phrase, peace through strength, we are fighting for peace every single day in the White House, every single day in the Oval Office. We achieve peace because you, the Marine Corps, are our strength, and we won't forget it, and we never have. Thank you, Marines. And I know we're going to do a little toast with a commandant here, but I just want to say something else, because there are two things that your political leadership cares a great deal about. I have to put on my vice president hat and tell you about it, because one of the mistakes that I think we made over the past 40 years, over my entire life, and let's be honest, it was Democrats and Republicans, this is not even a partisan point, is that we were too willing to send our Marines and our soldiers and everybody else off to war without giving you clear guidance about what you needed to do and clear guidelines for when you would come home. And that is one thing the President of the United States and everybody in the White House, we promise we will never do. When we send you off to fight our nation's battles, we will do it with full confidence. We will give you the knowledge and the tools you need to win, and we will make it clear that your job is to kick the enemy's ass and come back home safely. That is our sacred promise from the President of the United States on down. That's what we owe every single one of you, is a clear mission and a clear promise that when you do that mission, you're going to come home safely. That's the first point that I want to make. And I want to make a second point, because we live in an era of technology. You saw it in that incredible video. I forget who even said it, but he said, you know, in World War II, we had planes, we had boats, we had tanks, and we had Marines, and here we are in 2025, 80 years later, and we still got tanks, we got boats, we got airplanes, and we got United States Marines. But let's be honest, we all know the battlefield has changed in an incredible and profound way. We've got technology that would have been inconceivable even when I was a little kid, is now driving the face of the modern battlefield. We got cybersecurity, we got satellites in space, we got artificial intelligence, we've got all this incredible technology. And of course, the United States is the most significant leader of technology in the world. But I happen to believe that the most important warfighting technology is not a new airplane. The most important warfighting technology is not artificial intelligence or anything on a computer. The most important warfighting technology is a well-trained and well-armed United States Marine, and we won't forget it. So let me say, Marines, at the age of 250, not a single one of you looks older than 249. You look pretty good out there. This is a good-looking crowd. But I just want to say that everything the Marine Corps has done for me, the Marine Corps gave me great training. It gave me a sense of purpose. It gave me lifelong friends that across the political spectrum, just in the table of people that were dear friends of mine during the United States, my own Marine Corps service. We've got radical leftists and radical right-wingers, and we're all dear friends because we all bleed the same Marine Corps green. The Marine Corps has done a lot for me. The Marine Corps has done more for me than I can possibly repay. But the thing that I promise, so long as I have the honor of being your vice president is that I will continue to honor the United States Marine Corps. I will continue to remember that you are the most profound warfighting technology that exists on the planet Earth, and I will fight every single day on this 250th birthday of the United States Marines to make sure that the next 250 years is just as damn proud as the first 250. Happy birthday, Marines. It's an honor to be with you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please join Vice President JD Vance as he offers a toast in honor of the 250th birthday of the United States Marine Corps.
All right, Marines, I'm going to keep this simple and keep this sweet because I'm the last thing standing between you and a very delicious glass of champagne. But let's raise our glass from Chesty Puller to everybody else, for every Marine who came home and every Marine who didn't. Here's to 250 more years of our glorious Marine Corps. God bless you.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Commandant and Sergeant Major of the Marine Corps would like every guest in the ballroom to join Master Gunnery Sergeant Benier as he leads us in the singing of all three verses of the Marines hymn.
All right. Happy birthday, Marines. Let's sing out all three verses. Here we go. From the halls of Montezuma to the shores of Tripoli, we fight our country's battles in the air, on land and sea. First to fight for right and freedom, and to keep our honor clean. We are proud to claim the title of United States Marine. Our flags unfurled to every breeze, from dawn to setting sun. We have fought in every clime and place where we could take a gun. In the snow of far-off northern lands and in sunny tropic scenes, you will find us always on the job, the United States Marines. Here's health to you and to our Corps, which we are proud to serve. In many a strife we fought for life and never lost our nerve. If the Army and the Navy ever look on heaven's scenes, they will find the streets are guarded by United States Marines. Happy birthday, Marines!
Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes our ceremony. Dinner will be served shortly. Dance music will begin following dinner, featuring the music of DJ Manny V. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your attendance this evening. Semper Fidelis, and happy birthday, Marines.